Sometimes new, sometimes old, sometimes overlooked, but always worth a second look. These are Pair of Dice Paradise's picks for the Games of the Week. Welcome to an alternate Earth's Victorian era, in which technology is rapidly developing while the human population continues to grow, leaving society in dire need of fuel, land, and top hats covered in superfluous gears and rivets. Fortunately, scientists have discovered solarium, an ore that can be combusted to produce 10,000 times more power than a steam engine. Unfortunately, this element only exists on Mars, making it not too terribly convenient for the average goggles-wearing aristocrat to get to. But for you, the head of a steam-powered mining corporation, which just so happens to also have a deep space exploration division, these minerals have the potential to make you unfathomably wealthy. Now all you have to do is reach the Martian landscape and claim them before your competitors do. Because even though your world has yet to realize transistors, how difficult can traveling to neighboring planets be? Really, come on. This is the mission in Mission Red Planet. In Mission Red Planet, players have 10 rounds to send their astronauts into space, harvest the planet's most resource-rich zones, and gain as much solarium, sylvanite, and ice as possible. At their command while they do this is a team of 9 professionals, each with a unique skill set, such as helping astronauts navigate the hostile alien planet surface, or blowing up competing spaceships prior to launch. You know, corporate stuff. Throughout the game, players will secretly deploy their characters, place astronauts on spaceships destined for Mars, and then reap the planet's resources once they arrive, as long as they actually arrive in one piece. This second edition of Mission Red Planet was published by Fantasy Flight Games in 2015 and features the same gameplay as the original while increasing its player count up to 6 players, several other minor rules revisions, and includes 78% more brass and purposeful-looking diodes.
In Inish, it may be tempting to conquer the unique Celtic landscape by filling the map with your loyal units while eliminating those of your opponents. But this is often far from the best strategy. So let's peel back Inish's strategic layers and take a closer look. Hi, I'm Paula Deming from Things Get Dicey, and today I've been invited to share Inish, designed by Christian Martinez and published by Mechanica, a game deeply rooted in Celtic history and lore, and which players win by being elected King of the Island of Inish. Players compete to achieve victory in one of 3 ways. First, if one player plays their cards right, literally, they can gain the title of Pretender to the Throne, signified by a token they receive. This not only bestows them with the best parking spot on the island, but it also unlocks several win conditions for that player. For example, if a player has deployed enough of their units in territories that they control, then that player wins a leadership victory. Or if a player has more units present in territories with 6 or more total sanctuaries, then that player wins a religious victory. Additionally, if a player has 1 or more units present in 6 or more territories, they achieve a territorial victory, even if they do not control those territories. At the start of each round, players draft a hand of cards, which provide the options for the actions that they can take: adding clans, moving clans, building structures, exploring new lands, and several special actions to take advantage of the features of the enchanted landscape. While achieving a single one of the 3 possible victory conditions is enough to claim the title of king, games of Inish can still have a tight balance of power. As a result, careful drafting, hand management, bluffing, timing, and using this delicate balance of power to one's advantage are all keys to victory. In a comment, let me know which path to victory is your favorite, and then also exactly how you implement that strategy, like step by step. Don't leave out a single detail, because if we ever play this game together, I want to know exactly what you're going to do so that I can beat you. But please do leave a comment. Inish!
As a species, human beings are untidy. Let's face it, we're slobs. I mean, seriously, I don't even try anymore. And while this may be good news for the paper towel industry, it means a lot more maintenance for the rest of us in our personal and professional lives. And that is why companies like Mechanica Inc. were founded, to make our filthy human world spotless with the introduction of their Tidybots, ambitious vacuum automatons made for one thing: global domination, but recently reprogrammed by Mechanica's underpaid programmers to spotlessly clean the world on our behalf. Mechanica is a game of tile laying and engine building. And in the game, players will purchase puzzle piece-shaped machines and then slot them together to form a functioning factory floor. The machines they maintain are motivated to mechanize the Tidybots that their factory makes, building new ones, upgrading them, copying them, and teaching them where humanity's weak spots are. Allegedly. There are many different strategies available for players to take advantage of when deciding how to put their machines together, as everyone then attempts to emulate their eventual flawless mechanical overlords by trying to build the perfect factory. Ironically, then, imitating the fate that awaits humanity at the hands of these robots, players compete to buy the best machines at the best prices in order to run their factories, ship out Tidybots for profit, complete specialty bot blueprints, and fill their vaults with cold, hard cash, which will become meaningless after the cyborg uprising. The game continues until there's no more improvements left to buy, and then, in true human fashion, the player who has accumulated the most money is left to believe that they are the winner, until they slowly realize that the real winners are the mechanized masses that the players have just spent their entire lives upgrading until there's no way left to improve them further. So, smart move.
Being a British person, one may assume that I have a proclivity towards drinking tea, leisurely activities, and saying words like proclivity. And one may also assume that a card game about trees will fit right into the realm of sophisticated pursuits. But that's where one would be wrong. Because while Arboretum does include pictures of pretty, picturesque plants that players will be collecting, trees are plants, it's also a brain-melting challenge of set collection and spatial reasoning. Hi, I'm Matthew Jude from This Game Is Broken, and I've been invited to share Arboretum, a strategy card game for 2 to 4 players that combines set collection, tile laying, and hand management, all in a span of about 25 minutes. Arboretum comes with a deck of 80 cards in 10 different colours. Each colour features a different species of tree, and each colour has cards numbered from 1 to 8. As players start the game off with a hand of 7 cards, on a player's turn, they draw 2 cards from either the discard piles and then lays a card on their tableau as part of a tree-lined tableau of cards that they're constructing. Their Arboretum. Players' scores are based on paths of cards in their Arboretum. For every card in that path, a player is going to score 1 point. If that path consists of cards of only one colour, then they're going to score 2 points. But if a player doesn't have the most of that value of colour in their hand at the end of the game, then they score 0 points. Thus enters the brain meltery part of this. And after all scores have been tallied up at the end, the player with the most points is going to win. And while all that sounds like a lovely summer's stroll, it will melt your brain out of your brain. Arboretum initially came out in 2015 with a second edition featuring a completely new design coming out in 2018. Which version do you have a proclivity towards? I guess I do say proclivity.
Stockpile is an economic board game that combines the traditional stockholding strategy of buy low, sell high with several additional mechanisms to create a fast-paced, engaging, and interactive way to lose all your money to bad investments. In Stockpile, players act as stock market investors, the craftiest of whom will strike it rich, gaining the most money and winning the game. The Stockpile does this by centering on the idea that nobody out there knows everything about the stock market, but everybody does know something. Really? Really, Navu Games? You don't think that maybe, perhaps, you're making just a little bit of an assumption here? I mean, I'm only 2 paragraphs into this script, and already I've learned like 3 things about the stock market that I didn't already know. In the game, investment strategy manifests itself in 2 ways: insider information and the stockpile. Now, there are 4 things on my list. First, players are given insider information each round, which dictates how a stock's value will change at the end of that round. By privately learning if a stock is going to move up or down, each player has a chance to act ahead of the market by buying or selling at the right time. Secondly, players purchase their stocks by bidding on piles of cards called stockpiles, which contain a mixture of face-up and face-down cards placed by other players throughout the course of the game. As a result, nobody knows exactly how a stockpile will pan out, especially since not all of its cards are good news. And so, players have to make a choice. Do you hold on to a stock in hopes of catching a lucrative stock split? Do you look up what a stock split is before you start the game so you don't look like idiots to the other players? Or do you risk everything by investing heavily in one company, or even mitigate risk by diversifying your portfolio? He said authoritatively, because he absolutely understands what all of those words meant. In the end, Stockpile is a game that actually takes what could be a complex subject and presents it in a fun, streamlined way that even the most financially ignorant among us can enjoy. And do. Add a little bit of divine intervention to your dice rolls with either this dice or devil angel pin strapped to your lapel, lanyard, backpack, or other pinnable surface. Roll with grace and confidence with either one of these 1-inch enamel pins by your side.